Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Ryan Adate, aka Date Ryan Sama on Twitter. Maurice, if you know me. We're a little bit different this time because we're missing one of our members, and he'll be back for the next episode. But over there is Ed, and Edwin, because he's Edwin. Up there is Nippon Goose Sama. Over above me, that is Black by Nature, and we are the Hashira Podcast. We are coming to talk to you about everything anime and nerd, discussing all the things that I guess we are talking about in serious detail for all of you who are watching animes or new things that are coming out and not necessarily sure about how you should feel about some things. And the reason I said that is because we're going to be talking about something very specific today, and that's Tower of God. Now, Tower of God has been a webtoon or a manhwa that's been out for a long time. There are a ton of chapters, a ton of episodes, and I never really read it or anything like that myself. I waited till the anime came out because I knew that they were going to animate it sooner or later. And so when they did, I was very, excited to watch it. And in watching the first season from beginning to end, there are a lot of things I saw that I have some opinions about. And we have some opinions about. And that's why we felt it necessary to bring that to the meeting of the pillars. So we're hoping that you would join the conversation in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And so, pillars. Do you think that Tower of God deserves the hype?
Let me first start by saying justice for Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And everything that's happening to black people right now needs to change. Tower of God. Okay, so I was told to check it out because I think I'm the one that's late to the show. I think right before we even did this podcast, he was like, "Travis, you got to watch it." I was like, "All right, cool." And I watched it.
You have to raise your eyes like, "Man, you got to watch it."
When I checked it out, I thought it was enjoyable, but it just falls in line with all those other animes that I've watched where I was like, oh, this is a good anime, I've added it to the list. It wasn't something where I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, like Code Geass, like Monster, like Elfen Lied. It has its place.
Code Geass amazing. Code Geass really amazing.
We know how you feel about it. So it's just that I don't feel like we got enough for this season for it to be getting such hype that it does. Again, like, you know, we were given so much by like Sword Art Online. That was a really great anime to me. And it's out with its second season or fourth season, something like that. You know, the second stage, whatever it is. But with this, I feel like there still needs to be more to be fleshed out for me to think of it as highly acclaimed, highly amazing. What I do like about it is its collaboration. As we do know, it gets what is it called? I figure out for the Korean. It's a web story.
I know they call them webtoons.
They are manhwas instead of manga. So webtoons.
This is not specifically a Japanese manga. This comes from Korea, and then it's adapted into a Japanese anime. So I think that's really dope. But that's like the biggest dope part about it. Besides that, I still think like in terms of plot, character development, it still has a lot to be flushed out. And I have my favorite person. I'm not gonna say it yet until we get into characters of who I think they're truly doing a great job with, and possibly the only person they're doing a great job with. In terms of character development with other people. That's my thoughts. It's overhyped right now.
I'm way too excited. To hear the favorite character conversation, but continue.
I'll defend it for a little bit because most of the overhype is gonna come from the people that like read the webtoon. Like there is like a little bit of hype for the anime. I kind of agree with Goose. I just thought that for like a first season, there wasn't really anything that like made me like want like, oh my god, I have to wait for season 2. Damn it, I need it now. You know what I'm saying? There was no like, amazing factor that happened. I thought it was just like another, I guess you could say like almost like a basic shonen, whatever. No, it's not. And like, yeah, there was just nothing special going on for me.
I mean, I feel like I think it might have been overhyped only because they pushed it so much for the people that read it, like you were saying, and I feel like that was a that was a big thing, and so I'm gonna pull the super agreement card with you there. If I was a Yu-Gi-Oh player, it would probably be a spell card, but I'm definitely gonna do that, and because I feel that it was pushed so much, I was looking for so much when it started, that I didn't get in the first season.
Yeah, exactly.
However, once it got to the end of the first season and the last couple of episodes, it then started to make itself way more enjoyable for me. I felt like it didn't hit those points soon enough for me to feel like it was going to be so amazing or this is so great. But then again, we're talking about people who are reading the manhwa and who are reading the webtoon, and they are getting more when they want it. So they can push forward to the parts that are more interesting farther than we could if we're waiting for the animation. And I feel like with that, we didn't get a lot of the oomph right away. And so I do feel like it might have been overhyped just a tad. I will say I did enjoy it. You guys know me, who watch the podcast, who follow the podcast. You know that a big thing about Ryan Date's enjoyment for anime comes from the supporting cast. And I enjoyed the supporting cast in the show a lot. So therefore, I was able to get through some of the parts I thought that was still like on boring and choppy just because I enjoyed to see what the characters were going to do. But I do think it could be, overhyped. Yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I pulled out my spell card. I activate agreement with Ed and Edwin, and that's what I'm going with here. Deem, it's on you. Oh,
before we go to Deem, do you wait? Yeah. So are you guys saying that it's over? Are we saying that the manga slash webtoon is overhyped, or are we saying that the anime is overhyped?
Well, I'm saying I don't think we can like really judge if it's overhyped yet or not because it's only the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But
people love it.
The people. Yeah, I mean, but I think a lot of the love is coming from the people that read the webtoon. Because I've been like reading on Twitter that it kind of follows the webtoon like pretty accurately so far.
I heard it even makes the art style look better. That's what I heard. A lot of people were telling me like who like read it were like to see the art style come to life in a way that was very enjoyable and very I guess genuine to what the art style was in the manhwa made it better to read. After seeing the webtoon. So I thought that's why, like you said, I feel like a lot of people who give it love are the people who are already like they were waiting for it to be animated because they enjoyed it so much to see it in action. And so I feel like because that was the hype put behind it for us who did not read the webtoon, for us who were just watching it as an anime straight out, it didn't kind of hit the same way it hit for them, you know?
No, but it hit a lot. But it did hit for the people who don't read though. At least on the people I follow, they were
those. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Say those have to be the people that just want to follow the hype.
I was gonna say
has to be them.
I was gonna say that.
People like this. I'm just gonna say it was cool too to be down, because I don't know the first season. If I didn't know anything about like Tower of God, and I just said, oh, this looks interesting, let me watch it, I wouldn't have been satisfied one bit with it. I mean, not saying that there's nothing to enjoy in it, that it's not good. For first season, there was just no wow factor.
Yeah, you feel like it's missing.
You see the first episode, you're like, this looks like something I want to keep watching.
I mean, and
watch like 2-3 episodes, stopped, and then waited for it to build up.
I want to let Kadeem go because go ahead, Kadeem, because I have something I wanted to. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll just stay neutral with it. We can't really tell if it's gonna be a bust or if it's gonna blow. But what I can say is that you do see a lot of potential, especially in character development. There's a whole bunch of characters like backstory to where like you know people are excited, like, yo, I really want to know about this character, like why they act like this, or why they're so isolated when it comes to certain things. But we'll get into more detail with that further into the podcast. But as far as like if it's overhyped or anything, I'm gonna agree with Edwin. You can't really say anything being that it's the first season, but you do see a lot of potential, especially with character development. So it's going in the right direction.
Do you see potential though? Where do you see potential? Where I don't see. And on top of that, it seems as if like so after I watched it, I felt like I needed to read a little bit, and it seems like there's going to be a time skip. And I feel
I
like
know already.
I don't think that was necessary. I think that there should have been something.
Wait. There gonna be a time skip
What?
already?
Okay.
What?
There's a time skip, yes.
That's
but-
crazy. That is wild, man.
But I don't think the time skip is gonna happen that soon.
Yeah, that's what the
If-
last episode is, though.
The last episode's the last
If-
episode.
the time skip is starting with the
that
next
happens,
season.
I'm gonna totally well. I'm not gonna say I totally disagree because they might do the time skip, but then they might have an episode where they go back to like what happened during the time skip. It all depends. It all depends on how they introduce that. So like if they do the time skip, yeah, but then if they go back and then show what happened within the time skip, and shows what happened with each character, the development of each character within that happened during the time skip, then you could say, all right.
But
that's
no,
fine.
you
But if it's
know
just-
why I'm not with that though. But you know why? What bothers me about that? Because the way that the first season just ended, it makes me want to know what is happening right after it. I don't want to wait for a time skip to hear this is what happened during it. No, I want to know because Kun understands. Well, see, I'm skipping ahead, but I have to because of what Kadeem just said. The way it ended, I want to know how Kun and the team are going to handle dealing with Rachel, right? And dealing with what happened to Bomb. I want to see it now. I don't want to get the this is what it looks like later and they have to go back and explain it to us in filler episodes and memories. No. I want to know. Like cuz especially right after that was a big moment. All right, and since I did that already, let's just get it out. Let's get it out, right? Let's do it. Let's get it out. Let's get it out there. So as you all know on Twitter, if you are following any anime Twitter and have been following Tower of God, if you are any social media, if you type in F Rachel, there will be a picture of a specific Rachel, and that is the Rachel from Tower of God. All right. Now, if you did not watch Tower of God, this is the place where you stop. This is it right here. Okay. If you don't want spoilers and stuff like that, this is your spoiler alert. As you know, at the Hashira Podcast, we're talking about these things and we get into detail about things, and so therefore, when we get into detail, we can't leave out stuff, and it's hard to speak in a way that goes around spoilers. So this is your spoiler warning right here. Now, I'm going. So, if you type in F Rachel, you'll see Rachel from Tower of God, and a lot of those pictures and a lot of the memes that are coming from the anime verse and so forth, so on. Whenever you do this, and it's because Rachel herself is a character who we see the main character whose name is Bomb. He is following around, and he is very much he thinks that he belongs to her because of the things that she did for him and where she found him at, and so forth, so on. And after all he's doing to help her out, you realize that she is for self. And as I said before the podcast, and I have to say it again because I don't really curse, and Ed and everyone was laughing at me when I said it, but she's a hating AB. And if somebody wants to say that for me, you can go ahead and say it. But yeah, so Rachel is so caught up in being the superstar that she does some things that I do not agree with, but I can see if you were trying to be the superstar why you'd want to do them. However, if you're just trying to make it towards the top of the tower, which is kind of the point of this anime, is getting to the top of the Tower of God in order to get whatever it is that you're looking for through life, or some wish that you want granted. Whatever those things are, you have to get to the top of the tower in order to get them. So she's trying to get to the top of the tower and has her reasons for doing so, being the star or getting whatever it is that she wants, blah 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 blah. Bomb is the main character. He gets what I call the main character hacks, where he is not even just a regular main character, but he is an irregular. He has extra abilities and able to use, what's it called? Sensu? Is it Sensu? Am I right? Whatever that weird kind of like watery pressure ability is, that seems to be like how things are done here, where it's like the key to Dragon Ball Z, the chakra to Naruto. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, that's what he can manipulate that at an irregular level, which makes him stronger than regular people climbing the tower. He has that ability and is willing to use that ability only to make sure that Rachel gets to the top and to protect Rachel. And she decides that she's going to betray him and pushes him into the water. So, I think she's a hating AB.
Well, let's go into the irregular now, because we were talking about, if you remember, when she gets there, apparently she actually really wasn't chosen, and that was a mistake,
Exactly.
quote unquote.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right.
Too.
So if anything, she's an irregular. And I don't know if that meant that he was actually supposed to be chosen, and that's the reason why he appeared. But we find out that it's actually reversed. That she's an irregular, and she has no powers. She can't do anything by herself. She's not a princess. I thought that she was a princess when I saw her in the cloak, when she was like conversing with the other princess. You find out that's not the case. I thought that maybe there's something, she actually is for him. That's not the case. The truth is, we are given this person, and we got to remember that the Tower of God, the goal is to get to the top. So there's a goal, and like sports or like something that you're going towards, whatever you, Naruto, whomever, there's times that there's going to be an underdog. We're given the underdog. Rachel is the underdog. So basically the antagonist of this anime is the underdog. Now, I don't know about you guys. There are times often where I do like to root for the underdog. And so we have that. So Rachel automatically gets that one vote from me. She's an underdog. 2, on top of that, we have a bunch of characters, and we know that they're trying to reach a certain place, but we haven't been given fully an understanding of why. The people who we have been given the whys, they've either died or they've left. We remember the woman with the knife. She gives the knife to I'm forgetting names, but she leaves the group. We also have the guy who his whole village died, so he's trying to reach the tower and he can't get his moves correct. So he's set up and then he's killed. But he has depth. So here's Rachel now. She wants to see the stars. No powers at all. She can't do anything. So like the biggest depth is like the character development. One, we see this woman that we thought was like very nurturing and all that stuff, and no, she's the most selfish person in there. Who my eyes draw towards, and who do I concentrate on? Rachel. Because I have so much information about her.
Yeah, word.
Again, there's barely much information about these other characters. I know so much about Rachel. I know that she's an irregular. I know she has no powers. I know that she's the underdog. I know that she's truly evil, which I had a feeling about. This is, again, a reason I'm paying attention to her. Why am I paying attention to anybody else? I mean, yeah, Bomb, because of the fact that he has powers and I'm pretty sure he's the main character.
I mean, but do you really feel like we don't have information on the other characters? I mean,
there
are some characters we're missing a lot from, yeah. But to say we don't have information, I don't think that's true. Because even with Kun, we know that he had a relationship with someone who became a princess, right? So we know that we know more about, like, and we see Kun, and we know why Kun is so calculating and so not willing to trust certain people, which is why he respects and likes Bomb so much, because Bomb is genuine, which is why he likes him. We know Kun, and yeah, what's up?
I'm sorry to cut you off, Maurice. Go back to Kun and the whole relationship with.
So Kun was in a relationship with someone, a princess.
Was it
a princess?
His cousin?
A prince. I'm not sure, but I know it was a princess, and I do know that that person pretty much used him to get to where they needed to be, and he obviously is betrayed and feels betrayed because of this, and in doing so, he harbors a lot of distrust towards people, because he doesn't believe that you can trust people, which is why Kun reacted the way he did when he realized that Rachel was being phony, because then it made him upset. As a matter of fact, I think he says, and I quote, "I wish I met Bomb before you did."
Yes.
Like, he literally says that.
Yeah, he did say that.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like Kun a lot. Because a lot of his personality is built into what he does. And I mean, some people make the joke that he's like grown up Killua, but he is very calm, very calculating, and he is able to do things. And you know why? Because he's distrustful. Since he's distrustful, he always knows how to use other people to make them. He's good at manipulating people because he was manipulated, right? So you see, that's why he does things. And I think that with Rachel, Trav, like you were saying, we got all Rachel's information at the end of the season. That last episode was made to give us an opinion on Rachel. And with what you're saying, then I have to again cast the spell card agreement. I feel like the author did that as a power play. They really, like, the author wanted you to either hate Rachel or want to be interested in Rachel. So they dedicated a whole episode to Rachel after she does what she does, in order to either
Right.
it's gonna, because no matter what happens, her actions are gonna color how you feel about her. But now you have the information to decide what that color is going to be. Is it going to be the black of I hate you, or is it going to be the vibrant colors of I need to see what's going to happen in this growing garden? So now I think those things kind of change how we look at Rachel. I still think she's a hating AB, and I don't think that if you're trying to get to the top.
She's an interesting character.
I mean, I don't think she's. I think she's more just like a selfish broad. But that's just me talking. Because my thing is, if you want to get to the top, of the Tower of God, and you have someone who literally has the ability to put this group of people around you and get you to the top of said Tower of God, then why not
That's
just?
not what she wants, though.
She wants to get to the top.
Yeah, but she wants to do it herself.
No, she just wants to be the center of attention. She don't want to do it herself because she was with a group of people.
You
Yeah,
wanna be
all the
with that
attention
group
that
of people?
Bam is receiving, that's basically what she wants.
But
All
but
the friends, all that attention.
But all that attention that Bomb is getting, he's pointing it to her because he keeps telling people the only reason he's
Well,
like this
about that,
is
true.
because
They don't
Rachel
give her
is like this. That's why.
Bob
The
has
only
that certain personality that's everyone is just drawn to him.
yeah, but
because,
he's
that's
giving
how
the
he is.
credit. He's giving the credit of that to
Credit
Rachel.
to-
The only reason that
True.
people aren't drawn to Rachel is because she was still acting shady when they were trying to figure out why he was so nice, and they were trying to figure it out. Remember, what's her name? Oh no, I forgot her name. That's my girl, the princess, the one that is always
Dorsey?
fighting. Yes, thank you. So in Dorsey,
Which one are we?
in Dorsey, yeah. So in Dorsey, literally was trying to figure out why Bomb is so enamored with Rachel, because Rachel isn't acting like the way Bomb is saying she acts. So she's taking away from her own spotlight by doing the things that she's doing. She's being counterproductive to what she wants. Because in Dorsey, it was like watching her to see if she was gonna act the way that Bomb said she acts. If there's a couple of episodes where you see Dorsey watching her from the sides, and then one episode she says to her, "You're not like," I think she says something along the lines of, "You don't deserve Bomb," or "You don't deserve somebody like him," something like that. And it's real though. If he's making everything about you, then all you have to do is step into the circle, step into the spotlight, be the spotlight you want to be. Why walk around it? It doesn't make sense to me.
But that's not her. That's not
Yeah,
her.
word.
You can't be something that somebody wants you to be if that's not you. I think that's exactly what the anime is about.
Yeah.
But me personally, I feel like this anime just a little bit, is nip tacking off of two animes. One is Hunter and two is Naruto. The reason why I say Naruto is because you have Rachel, that character, is despising Bam just off of his growth. That's just how he genuinely is. Just like how Sasuke was despising the growth of Naruto, and I just feel like they just nitpick from that anime. And the reason why I say Hunter is because you could relate certain characters to Hunter x Hunter with Tower of God. Tower of God. Tower of God.
Yeah, that's what we know.
I would
That's
disagree.
true.
I would disagree. I disagree with that.
Mhm.
I think it's more so of a this is more so just psychological than it is nitpicking from another anime. I don't think that they've gotten their ideas from somebody else. I think it's more so this is a possibility of how people can be. Here it is, and that's it.
But you can see it. Naruto sat there, devoted himself when Sasuke turned himself on the village, devoted himself to still go out there and put his whole life and his neck on the line to bring back Sasuke, knowing that Sasuke did not want to come back. And just like Bomb is doing, even though Shorty pushed him into could have killed him. He woke up and what he still wants to help her.
Well, because he has this bias. It's so difficult to get past bias, right? So he has this bias thing where he looked up, saw a shining light in all the darkness, and it was her. Okay, and you got to remember a lot of the things.
She was like all he knew, right?
All he knew, and you got to remember a lot of the things that he was putting forward, which is very interesting. All the good things that he's putting forward, this goes back to what Maurice was saying, is from her teachings. He was quoting her when they were in the cave. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what makes Rachel even more interesting. All these
No. She's like, I honestly, I would agree with you on that. Rachel is a very interesting character. I can't say, yes, I dislike the choices that she made, but it's still like that last episode, the episode that was about her made it more interesting to understand where she come from, and try to understand her point of view on that situation even more, because it's just like now like I asked that question, like in that cave, where were they? How they get there? What was the point of them being there? Where did Bomb come from? And it just opens up a lot of room to ask questions to see, if those questions are going to get asked as the anime goes along. But as far as not, I honestly feel like I was going to say like they nitpick just a little bit, just like when you skim up the top. I feel like that's what that's what
you mean, like I made like kind of like you pay attention to a lot of things and you don't even realize it, that you took an idea from some other place, just a little bit.
Right.
I can understand that thought. I don't see it, but I can understand.
I mean, okay, all right. So even if we're going with that, right, Trav? Right? Say we're going with Rachel is so unique and she's interesting because all the things that Bomb was quoting her and so forth, so on. This is my thing. This is my thing. No, I don't like her. I said that already. But I said that already. I said she's a hating AB. I'm not taking that back. That's never coming back. It went out into the atmosphere. It's gonna do what it's supposed to do, right? So that's it. But what I want to say is this though. So now I think if we're talking about playing on the psyche of people, especially people trying to acquire a specific goal, when we're talking about characters in this show, then I would like to say this. I think that it's very interesting, right? That someone who is teaching someone how to be a good person is so much of a bad person that before she even gets to explain herself, the owner and the guardian of the tower goes, "You are trash." Literally, right? Remember that? He said she was trash. He said that she was worth nothing and the blackness of her soul wouldn't amount to nothing. He saw this before she even could explain herself and just murdered her entire life. He murdered her whole life, son. Just like off rip. And she spent this entire time teaching Bomb how to be a good person, to the point where Bomb is so much of a good person, he's Deku times 3,000. And it's just like, it's literally who he is. He's just a good person that's uniting people, right? And isn't that crazy? Yep, come on, Tanjiro. Come on through here, right? So it's literally like he's that much of a good person, and it comes from a person whose soul is so black that she is considered trash by the person who's running the tower. That is interesting to me because it shows that people can be so fake and phony that it will only come to a head when they can't get what they want to get. That is Rachel incarnate, and that's why she's a hating AB. Because if I'm gonna be out there trying to do right when it sounds good, but then when everything comes to a head, my ugliness on the inside is gonna come to the forefront. That's why she a hating AB. She a hating AB. I don't care what you say. I think that's why I want to see how Kun and the rest of the team deal with it. That's why I don't want any time skip right now. I want to see how they are dealing with this faking woman who's faking the fact that she can't walk and being carried around by this group of people. I want to see it. I want to see what's happening.
So let me ask you a question, Maurice. Like, what if the first, we'll say the first 2 episodes, they continue off where they left off at in the first season. What if they go into how they handle the whole situation with Rachel? Would you like to, and then go into to the time skip? Would you rather that, or?
I just think that it's too. It's for me. It's too. Time skips are some things that you throw in animes when like you got so far to a certain point that there's no other way to explain what's going on. We're still so early in that we still need the rest of the characters to be explained. How are we going to time skip when half of the cast of people who are carrying Rachel pretty much now, we don't know what's up with them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Hots is a beast, and he's a cool swordsman. We know this, but I want to know more. I want to know why Rock is trying to be the strongest warrior. I want to know why the sleeping bag dude is even trying to climb a tower where he don't like even doing work. You know what I'm saying? These are things I want to know. We're not going to find these things out yet. We're not going to find these things out yet.
That should be his real name.
He's sleeping bag dude. He's a beast. And I want to know these things before we get to a time skip. Like, I feel like we're gonna get to a time skip before we even get to learn about them, because now they're gonna have to go into the whole filler things and memory stuff to fill these things out, and I feel like it's too early for that.
So you would rather all the characters display like their background and what they're about, where they come from, and their abilities and everything before going into a time skip. So you would rather that than a time skip. Well,
Not well,
that wouldn't make sense.
all of them don't have to show all of
Not-
their
no,
abilities.
not all of
But
them,
you know
I'm
what I'm saying?
just
But
saying,
like
you
at
know,
least
the-
something. Like Travis was saying, give us something in order to feel out the rest of the cast, because as I say often, the supporting cast is what makes a show. And Tower of God is interesting just because of the little bit of characters that we see interact, right? We're talking about the test proctor, right? We're talking about that weird creature that the princess had to come down and fight because he was trying to like kill Bomb and kill Anak, which is the daughter of the original princess, the green lizard looking chick, right? So we see a lot of things happening, and I want to know more about it before we get to a time skip, especially because Leroy, one of the test proctors, one of my favorite rankers, he's mad cool, and he's decided now that he's going to climb the tower again, because we know rankers are people that made it to the top. No, the blonde hair dude.
Oh, the one that quit,
The blonde,
right?
yeah, the blonde hair dude. He's gonna
you
climb
go,
the tower
there you
again.
go, that-
So I want to know, because obviously he's an animal, because you have to be an animal to get to the top of the tower. He's an animal, and he's so upset with what's going on. He's gonna climb the tower again. I want to know what this dude is about. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask. That was gonna be my next question. Why did he quit? Because he's seen that the what's the dude name that's running the whole thing? He's seeing him doing. He was side plotting, and he's seeing it.
Yeah, the guy that was doing the test, he saw Kun was showing, and it's funny because Kun like this was a cool part of the show to me, when they were trying to make it seem like Kun was so distrustful that he was setting up everybody when it wasn't even him, it was the other guys, right? But Kun was showing Leroy. Every time I say his name, I'm gonna say it like that. Every time he was showing him what was going on so that he could make proper decisions about how he was proctoring the tests. Because after a while, he realized that even the tests were being proctored were all made in a way that was sabotaging some of the team that were climbing up the tower. And so therefore, he made the decision to quit, and now he's going to climb it again to figure it out, which is why I like him. Leroy is one of my favorite characters off rip. I was like, this guy is super cool. So yeah, go ahead, Travis. You about to say something? My bad.
Right, because but the thing is, I think he has to climb the tower. I think this is going to answer the question. He has to climb the tower because even though he's side-eyeing his colleague, his information is coming from higher up. So it's not even like he's doing this by himself. This is an esoteric event happening. So like the things are coming in from somebody else. He's not even the main guy. Because remember when he meets up with the weird character that's trying to kill the lizard chick, he's like, look, I'm not here to fight you. Actually, we're pretty much doing the same thing. We're working on the same stuff.
And it wasn't that wild. When I was like, wait, hold up. You see somebody messing with your test, you're supposed to be upholding the they're supposed to be upholding the righteousness of these tests by making sure that they're going through, right? The fidelity of these tests by making sure that they're fair. And all of a sudden, somebody comes up from Emperor Jihad, right? And because of that, you're doing something else. So that now things are kind of interesting. It's like, what else is corrupt in the tower? What people are trying to climb now? And I want to see. And that's the thing. There's so much more I want to know. And that's why I said at the end of the season is when it got good to me. Because now I'm like, hey, what's this? What's that? What's this?
It's not that. Again, I want to know side stories as well, but it's not that. You know what? I misused the word esoteric because esoteric means hidden and unknown. And I honestly feel like, and I'm not taking away from it. It's fine. There are things that are written and it's not meant to truly be hidden. It's still pretty cool concept and all that stuff. But I honestly see all of this stuff meant to bring out Bomb's potential. That's all this is. That's all I see. And I feel like that's at the end of it, we're going to find out that he's like an emperor's son or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would hate for that to be the truth because I feel like I'm calling it out right now. And then later on, we see exactly what I'm saying is the case. And like now, what's the point of watching it?
But the hope is.
I might be right.
I mean,
I feel like that really is.
That really sounds like one of those actual like plot thought through things. I'm gonna have to give you that one, Travis. So everybody watching the podcast at this point in time, if you are reading the manhwa and you are 500 chapters in, and what Travis is saying is correct, if what Nippon Goose-sama is proclaiming at this very moment is right, don't even just put a thumbs up somewhere and just put Nippon Goose-sama after you put the thumbs up, just so that way we won't get spoiled, but we know that Travis is talking right. So I will say this though, I hope that's not the case, because the thing is, I think now when I'm watching anime, I'm always looking forward to things that hit with a different angle. We were talking about this off the air. We were talking about this in the chat before we had this conversation in the podcast itself. And I was saying how much I wasn't really a fan of Bomb, because Bomb was so vanilla that I couldn't like him. He was just so vanilla that I couldn't get with it. He was just like this guy. It was just, hey, I'm a good guy. I like being a good guy. People like to take care of me, and because I'm such a good guy who sees the good in others, people come around me and help me out, and they also like bring out the best in the other people who are now helping each other out and want to do better because of me. Like he was just that vanilla main character, and I was just like, I didn't really like him, so I was just like, all right, you're here. But then I saw Coon and Hots, and I was like, yay, characters I get to follow. Rack, I like Rack. He's a big lizard, always trying to fight stuff, calling people turtles, and I'm here for it. Like those are the people.
Are you saying that you don't like? I mean, so you're saying it's possible to like an ignorant protagonist, but if it's done right, because Gon is one of those.
I mean, of course, but that's the thing. But
naive protagonists, and so is
Yeah, but these are anime tropes, and this is another thing I said as well. A lot of these characters are anime tropes. We have the super cool, slightly emo, thought out character. That's Coon. We have our cool swordsman who's super strong. He doesn't really need you to tell him why you need something to be done. He knows he needs to get it done. I'm gonna go get it done, right, Zoro? We have a lot of tropes here that are existing in this show, which is why it was super vanilla. But Bomb was so much more vanilla because it was just weird because we didn't know anything about him. Like, at least with Tanjiro, we saw how he acts with his family. We knew why he was vanilla. We knew, we saw Deku. Deku wants to be a hero in a world of heroes, so we know why he's acting like Deku. You know what I'm saying? We saw Naruto wanting to save the village. We know why Naruto is Naruto. So they were like those main characters who we understood why. So at least with them, I could get behind it. With Bomb, we don't know anything about him yet. So therefore, it was just like, it was hard to get behind him in the first season because I didn't know why, and he was just acting like this. And then come to find out that the person that taught him to be good ain't even good. So then it was just like, damn, Bomb, who are you? Like, why am I supporting you at all? So it was just like that. That's why I couldn't get with him. So it's not like he's like, a terrible person and stuff like that. It's just I couldn't get behind him because it was just like a lackluster main character for me in this first set of episodes, right? And that's all I'm saying. But now with the rest of the characters, based off what you were saying, Trav, which I still think it sounds like a spot on analysis for what's going to happen for the rest of the show. So what I'm saying is I'm hoping that they're going to use these extra plot holes in a tower in a world that we don't understand in order to create a narrative and illustrate some action and events that are different than what we know, because we still have to know the mystery of the Jihad princesses. We have to know why some of them are stronger than others and why some are rankers and some are going through the castle right now, like Endorsi is going up the tower right now. We know she's a princess. She's stronger than most of the cast, but we know the other princess is walling out, right? You know what I'm saying? So we know that there are differences. That's one mystery we get to find out. Then we get to find out the mystery of how the tower levels improve in difficulty and what that means for the team, how they get to figure out different things. And we also know that they have different types of people, right? What was it? Ooh, help me out. The 3 types. The people that are like the surveillance people, technically like the watchers. The watchers. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. So there's so much more depth that they added to it that I want to see where this depth goes. And they can take that and really go far if they don't do what Travis just said and just kind of time skip it, move it forward. All these things are happening to just show why Bomb is important. You know what I'm saying? If they don't do that, then we're good. But there's room for that. So I hope that's not the case, so we'll see. But there's so much cool things happening that happened towards the end of the first season. I was just like, okay, this is cool. I want to see what this is. I want to know what this is. I want to know what that is. Rachel's a hating AB, and this is going to be great. So, but we talked about potential. That's potential. Potential doesn't make Hitsugaya Captain Toshido good, because it's just potential, right? So we can't talk about just being potential. I want to see what happens.
Everything can have potential.
Are you serious? Did you say this just to do that?
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it.
I couldn't help it. Not this episode, but I'm gonna get you back.
I wasn't. Oh,
you don't say anything, Goose. You don't say anything. So because you started this.
Okay, well, since we said that, right? Since we did all that, I feel like I'm doing way too much talking. I'm shut up because I was way too into our conversation. Because listen, guys, viewers, we talked about this a lot, and and as you know, we get to the nitty gritty when we talk about anime. We don't stick to the top of the details. We go into all the things, and because of that, we get excited about it. And so hearing Travis's. When I heard Nippon Goose-sama say that Rachel was his favorite character, I was like, holy crap, come on through with this explanation. I want to know.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, so it's cool. So with that being said, we know that Nippon Goose-sama's favorite character is Rachel. So, Black by Nature, Ed and Edwin, who are your favorite characters?
I'm not going to lie, I don't have a favorite character, but a character that really stands out to me the most, that I'm starting to draw to is Rack. He's funny. Like that part where who was it? That died. One character that died, and I think that big dude, like the bodyguard.
When Rachel got hurt.
Yeah, that was Rachel's little like
shadow thing.
And he just disappeared, and Rack was like looking around, looking for him. His facial expressions, his whole demeanor and everything. It was just funny.
No, I think Rack
funny
is
when
cool.
he turned mad little.
Yeah, he was a little reptile. Oh no. You know, that was absolutely hilarious. I'm not even gonna lie about that. That was freaking funny. I think that I like Rack though, because I think Rack adds that element that, you know, he's the weird Bakugo-ish guy. He's kind of really energetic. He's super fervent. You said what? Oh, you got one funny character. Yeah, you're right, Ed. Yeah. But I feel like that's what makes him cool though. But he is like that, but he's also super good at what he does. As a matter of fact, he's so good that they didn't even let him participate in that test because they knew.
Well, he passed the test.
He threw his.
He passed. But the test was passed based off his pure skill. Remember, because everyone else who did what they did, they still had to take the test, and they were like, "Rack, you did so well, you don't have to." Right? Like, so he's obviously very good at what he does, and not only that, I think it's funny that he really does care for the other characters now, but he doesn't act like it because he's too tough. You know, he was hiding behind the door to see how Bomb was doing after he got hurt, and Kun goes, "You're gonna come in and check on him?" He was like, "No, of course not." He starts walking away. You know, so I think that Rack was annoying in the first couple episodes. I was like, why are you just doing too much, bro? And then after I was like, nah, I'm here for it. So
definitely, I did too.
So he's gonna get killed quick.
Yeah,
he's talking like he's all big and bad.
What was the secret in order to get past the energy stream? Like they said, let's sit back and watch everybody else first. When Kun was like, you know, the only person we have to worry about is Bomb. Bomb was already in front of the stream.
It didn't push him back.
What did they? Did they have a strong mind? What was that about?
I think it was willpower.
Which guy? Which dude?
Huh? And they walked through that like waterfall that you couldn't easily get through.
They haven't really explained it, which is like another thing I'm looking forward to.
Understand
that sensu. That's what that sensu stuff. Like I was talking about, like that chakra, the key thing. So there's a way that you're good at controlling it. And some people can't control it well. And if you're good at manipulating and controlling it, then you're able to just walk through it or deal with other people's sensu. It's almost like spiritual pressure in Bleach. Like it's so powerful that it makes everybody kind of stand still and not be able to move. But some people who can manipulate it well or are gifted can just kind of walk through it.
But I wouldn't say manipulate because Bomb couldn't manipulate it. He had trouble manipulating it.
Probably made of it.
Well, matter of fact, I take that back. I take that back because when he was training, he was moving at a fast pace. He was catching on to versus other people. So I guess you could say that.
Like a natural, I guess you could say.
Right.
I'm telling you guys, he's made of it.
I mean, he might be.
No, you're right.
He might be.
That's what they said. They said that. Yeah, that's what they said. Remember when he jumped in front of Rachel and then like that whole golden.
Yeah, that was like a different color.
Yeah, it was golden sensu. Yeah, you can't say golden shower. That sounds crazy. But golden sensu or whatever. That's wild. So I mean, whatever it is in him that allows it to manipulate it and work with it well is why he was able to just kind of walk through it when it was created. In order to pass that test.
What does it have to do with the spears and the sensory pre-work? Like, what does it have to do with those two? Well, I can understand because What's his name?
But that's
sleep bag guy. What do you call
a sleeping bag dude. Not sleeping bag dude is a beast, yo. Now a sleeping bag dude is so good at being able to manipulate it. Remember, as a matter of fact, when they got to that
class, though, his class is meant to manipulate it.
No, but even you're right. Yeah, but listen. The thing was, his class is meant to manipulate it, right, Trav? You're absolutely right. But remember, it was still a shock and a surprise to the test proctors and the rest of the participants in the tower when he was able to use it so well during the test with the chair. Remember the mini game with the chair?
Right.
No one thought he was going to be able to use it that well because he was too good at it, and people were like, "Whoa, how can he do that?" Blah 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 blah. Like they were completely surprised. So, remember the mini game where they had to sit on the throne, and that's when Bomb
with the
crown
on their head.
There was a point in time where the team with the sleeping bag dude, he was literally about to like wall out and shoot somebody or something like that with said sensu. And people were like completely surprised that he could manipulate it the way he was. Like everybody was like, whoa, you shouldn't be able to do that on that level. Like everybody was like, whoa, what is that? And remember, he was so good at manipulating, he taught Bomb how to do it. Remember, because he owed Bomb for cleaning his pillow. Remember that? And so he taught Bomb how to do it more efficiently because he's good at it already. So it's like, what is it that allows them to manipulate it and move it like that I'm really trying to like figure out. That there's a lot of details and stuff like that I want to see fleshed out that they have the opportunity to make well. And if they don't make it well, it's gonna be what Travis said.
My main question is, how does that pertain to the other two classes? Like, does the sensu, or we're forgetting the name. Does that have anything to do with the person who fights with the spear? Does that have anything to do with a person who's sensory, like Kun?
But I think that I don't know if it has something to do with it, but I think that they are obviously tapping into whatever it is that's causing that to happen and be materialized, and they're using it in a different way. Because remember, Hotz walked right through he walked right through it himself, right? And the sword dude, he walked right through it, right? Kun walked through it, which means that even though they're not able to like use it by shooting it or throwing it at people or whatever the case is currently, I'm gonna say currently because I don't know what happens in the future, we do know that whatever it is that causes this ability and gives you this strength, they can draw on it and use it in different ways. That's why the people who are able to be watchers and surveillance people can see and talk to people. Remember that little chick, the little girl? She was a sensor. I think she was an observation type. And remember, she could see things and send out the little creatures that could pick up the sounds as well. That's also her, using said abilities. So we know that those abilities manifest themselves in different ways and are then attributed to the team, which is why you get classified in those different things. And so if that's the case, Travis, I think that answers your question. Like it probably has something to do with how their abilities are being used.
So let me ask you, Travis, let me ask you a question. Being that Maurice said that's how each person is classified. Now, this is a question for both of y'all. Is a person, once they're classified in one category, that's it? They can't, be classified in each category?
I think this is going back to your thought about Hunter x Hunter, kind of.
I'm going to kill you. No, well, yes and no.
Okay.
But is it that's how it is?
That's the way it seems. That's the way it's like, again.
Okay,
we don't have anything
else. Now boom. Now I wasn't gonna pick out that Hunter x Hunter thing, but that is another thing that they are nitpicking off. But the reason I was gonna say that is because Bomb looks like he's gonna be categorizing each of them, because if you remember that ranker, the dude, like he moves really fast. Like I don't know, like he did a move to Bomb, and then like Bomb was able to copy it and do it back to him.
Oh, the cool red dude that's always mad. Yeah.
Right, there you go. Right.
Yeah.
Basically, so that's what I was saying. That's why I was saying he's real quick on catching on how to do moves. So now, like he did that, and now he's able to shoot it out as well. So what if someone else comes and shows him a different class on what to do with his power? He could do that as well. So I feel like he's going to be classified in each category rather than just one.
Who, Bomb, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't see him fight. Oh, remember, he had the sword.
Yeah, exactly. Which means he was a spear too. Yeah.
Right.
He was able to use the sword.
Oh, shit.
Right. So
true.
So yeah, but Travis was saying that already, and I feel like that's already alluded to, and I feel like that's very the main character thing. So I didn't even think that. I didn't think nothing of it. I was just like, all right, we know this. He's gonna be good at this, and he's gonna be able to do that because he could do it. Like that's just it's main character stuff. So it's.
Murdered.
Well, when the world needed him most, he vanished. So I hope that Bomb doesn't.
Who he is? He vanished
So
underground.
yeah, yeah, you're right. I think that's kind of what's going on, with that. There's a lot that I feel like we get to add here, and so forth, so on. So, it's pretty good. So guys, we are coming to the close here. We talked a lot about what we thought about Tower of God, and we hope to hear what you guys have to say about it. What characters you think are interesting? Do you feel like we treated Rachel justly? How much do you dislike Nippon Gusama for thinking she's great? Or do you think Black by Nature is correct in his assessment of the Naruto and Hunter x Hunter simulations and I guess similarities? Do you feel that, like Ed and Edwin said, a lot of the hype might have come from the people who are excited to see it animated than opposed to being able to watch it in the first season and it missing that big event that makes it great? What are the things that you think about Tower of God in itself? I would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. If you would have the conversation with us down in the comments, join the meeting of the pillars, and we are back to recording all the time. I do want to leave this podcast with one thing. As Nippon Gusama said in the very beginning, there should be justice for Breonna Taylor. And there should be justice for all those who are dealing with the issues that come with being a certain color that is not white. I do feel like it is absolutely ridiculous that we have to even have the conversation that Black Lives Matter is important if you think that all lives do. As a matter of fact, it's very simple math. I was taught in school that in fractions there's a denominator and a numerator. On top of the denominator is what we are focusing on. So if all lives matter is the denominator where all people exist, then obviously what's important right now are the Black lives that are being taken without any care or remorse. And that's why it's on the top. It's the numerator that we are focused on. And so if you really believe that all lives matter, then you obviously believe the numerator, which is part of it. The part that we're focusing on at this very moment is important. You cannot say that all lives matter if Black lives do not. You cannot say that Black lives are not treated differently by the people who are in higher powers that do not believe that we are more than what we look like just because you feel like all lives matter, so therefore we can't talk about our own. If someone is killed in cold blood by law enforcement just because they're Black and you can find a narrative to create against them that even has nothing to do with their past, automatically puts you in the clear, then you are obviously not paying attention to what's happening to us. Therefore, Black lives matter. And here at the Hashira Podcast, it is so important to us that we put it in our show. So, please, stay safe in the corona times. For those of you protesting, keep going until change comes. Because Black lives do matter. And until you believe that, then if you say all lives do without helping us out, then you don't even know what you're talking about. It's simple math. Fractions are still fractions. And our lives are very important. To all of you, this is the Hashira Podcast signing off. See you next time at the meeting of the pillars. Stay nerdy, my friends.